Hello ladies, I hope you are all well. Welcome to week 3 of our Be Sugar Smart sessions. Last time we spoke about the maximum daily allowances for sugar intake and we highlighted some of the products that contain a great deal of added sugar. We also talked about other sugars that are present in the foods that we eat.
We are now going to look at food labelling. It can be really difficult to try and keep up with all the advice on what to eat and how much and how to navigate our way around the wording that appears on packaged foods. Luckily, there are strict guidelines that manufacturers have to follow. I'll go through most, but not all as we have limited time, of the things that you will find on food labels and hopefully give you some helpful tips on what to look out for next time you go shopping. There will of course be a bit of a bias towards sugar. There are 3 key things that the food label must explain. Firstly, it must give the nutritional breakdown of the food itself. Secondly, the food must be listed in a certain way. Thirdly, the energy provided by the food must be displayed in kilocalories and kilojoules per 100 grams. We'll go over these in more details over the next few minutes, but first I want to give you a bit more insight into some of the wording that appears on food labels. One very important point for you to know is that the food label itself must not be misleading. But you could be forgiven for not always seeing the subtlety of some of the language that is used by the manufacturers and marketeers. In this example, all the labels are accurate and fully approved. Let me explain. A strawberry flavoured yoghurt doesn't have to actually contain any strawberries at all. It only must taste of strawberries, whereas a strawberry yoghurt, as seen on the right-hand side, must contain strawberries. The difference is subtle, yet significant. Let's now look at a food label in a bit more detail. As we said earlier, all foods that are in a product must be shown on the food label. Have a look at the ingredients list on the right-hand side of the slide. The order that the foods are listed is significant. The foods are listed in order of quantity. Here we can see that whole grain wheat is the largest constituent, followed by sugar, and then rice flour, and then oil. Well, you get the idea. The label must also show any potential allergen in the product. In this case, wheat and soya. I'll come back to the nutrition facts label shortly. I think it's useful to mention dates at this point. When we buy packaged goods, there must be a date shown, and it can be accompanied by either a use by or best before comment. Use by is often found on perishable goods such as milk and fresh meat. This is the guarantee that the product is edible up to this point. Best before is found on long life products such as canned or dried foods. The manufacturer here is telling you that the food is at its optimum or its best up to this date. After this particular date, the food is consumable, but it won't be at its peak condition. Now we are going to look at the nutrition fact label, often found on the back of the product. This label tells us how much energy the food provides in calories and kilojoules. It also tells us about the food's fat, saturates, sugar and salt content. It may also tell you about the food's protein and vitamin content. You will often find the information is expressed per 100 grams and per portion. The percentages shown tell you how much of a daily allowance this would contribute based on a total calorie intake of 2,000 calories. This can get confusing, and so since 2013, a traffic light system has been in place to help guide shoppers and to help you understand more about the food's nutrition. This label is often found on the front of the product. The traffic light system works by using green, amber and red. It assesses the fat, sugar and salt content of the food and assigns a respective colour, green being the healthy option, amber being okay for you to have most of the time, and red should really be reserved for occasional consumption. Let's look at sugar, and I want to remind you of those allowances we talked about last time. An average female adult should have a maximum of 25 grams of sugar a day, and a male 37.5 grams. So ladies, a red sugar label on a food is an indicator that 100 grams of that product would equal your daily allowance. Before wrapping up today, I wanted to highlight some other key words for you to look out for on packaged foods. If you see the word light or reduced on a product, then this is in relation to the standard product. By law, it must be at least 30% less than the standard. So it is not always a true healthy choice and may actually have more calories than you think. So do shop around. On the other hand, the word low means the food is genuinely low in fat, sugar or salt and will often be coded green. But again, there is a word of caution. Low in one thing doesn't mean it is low in everything. The last two words on this slide relate specifically to sugar. Unsweetened means no refined sugar has been added, but sugar may still be in the product from milk or fruits. No added sugar is exactly what it says. It can still taste sweet though, due to fruit sugars or artificial sweeteners. To help you with all of this, there is a fabulous app that you can download for free, both on Android and on iPhone. It works by you holding your camera over the product's barcode. It will identify the food and then give you an immediate breakdown of all those key nutrients to monitor, so fat, sugars and salts. Just look up Change for Life, Be Food Smart in your respective app store. Download it and start scanning.
Many thanks for listening today. I hope you found it informative and I hope you learned something. Any questions, please post on the group and I'll get back to you. Also, why not have some fun with the app? Go and hunt out the most sugary product you can find in your house. It will help with next week's talk, as we will be looking at swaps we can make from high to low sugar products. Until then, look after yourself, keep safe, and goodbye.